Hello, I'm Courtney. What's up, and welcome to Book Talk. Today, I'm going to be discussing The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey, and this is the sequel to The Fifth Wave, and I read that back in end of September, beginning of October, and I liked The Fifth Wave, but it's not the best book ever. I read it for my English 2 class, and I didn't think it was bad, but it was okay. And then we got The Infinite Sea here, and I read this in about a week or so, 5 or 6 days, which that really isn't that bad. But I think, to be honest, I liked this book better than The Fifth Wave, and I know this can sound really weird, but I thought I was gonna hate this book because everyone does, but I didn't. I liked it. And I thought it was good. I liked the action sequences. I liked the plot of it. And I think it's better than The Fifth Wave. That's just me. But if you have not read The Infinite Sea, I recommend it. If you read The Fifth Wave and you don't know if you should read The Infinite Sea or not, I would recommend it because I really enjoyed it. I give it about 4 stars. And I give it about a 95%. So more like 4.5 stars. But yeah, if you have not read this book and you do not want to be spoiled, you should leave now because I'm about to go into a spoilerly discussion. So, bye not spoilerly people. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so The Infinite Sea by Rick Yancey. It was really short. Let me just say that. It was exactly 300 pages, and I love that because I feel like The Fifth Wave was a little too long, some things kind of dragged out and that book was way too long. But this was just a perfect size and I read it so quickly. I read a section per day and it was great. And I will say with The Infinite Sea, it did drag in the beginning and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna hate this. But then as the book went along, it got better. By the time we got to that second Cassie section, I was just like, this is amazing. And so we get to read from Ringer in this book, and at first I didn't like reading for her because she's so mean, but then by the end she's kind of a changed person. I don't know, but I like reading from her now. I thought she was really fun to read. It was very interesting. And it was interesting to read from Ringer because we never got to read from her in The Fifth Wave, so I found that very interesting. Ringer is a pretty cool character, and now that she's a silencer in a way because of that 12th system, this is gonna be so cool. Just the whole idea about Ringer getting captured and they put this system in her body, and then when she goes to the shower and stuff and beats Claire up because she has all these powers, that's so cool. And I feel bad because now Vosh is okay, go find Evan. I'm just no. And I'm praying for your Ringer. Please be okay because you need to survive. She can help us. Don't do what Vosh says and be with us again. And I can't believe she got captured when we got reunited with her at the very end of the book, because we see her at the beginning and the end. I was just whoa, hey now, what is this? And then we get to see from Cassie because I will say this, seeing Cassie through Ringer's eyes, that was interesting, and I definitely liked Cassie more in this book. I really did not like her in The Fifth Wave that much, but reading her in this, I realized how actually funny she is, and I liked it. And I did feel really bad for her because Sammy was always going to Ben, so I feel like she never got to really hang out with Sammy, so that was sad. And I have to bring up Ringer again. Oh my gosh. Okay, so in The Fifth Wave, I shipped Ringer and Zombie, right? And then when I love the scene in the beginning before Ringer leaves to go scout, and Ben's just I know what you're thinking, and Ringer's just no you don't. He's just like, you're wondering if you should kiss me or not, and she's just like, whoa, hey now. And then she's like, maybe I should kiss him. And I'm just like, yes, do it. But now I don't ship her with Zombie, because we get Razor, and Razor, I liked Razor. But now, at the end, with the whole situation at the warehouse, like, what was that? I was so confused. They never explained, like, what was the truth? Like, I don't know. I guess the truth was that all this stuff he did was because of Vosh, and so he was just following his orders. And, oh man, I was so sad. But then it's okay, because then they make out, and it's all good, and they have that talk, and it's just like, it's really nice. So, I'm no longer a Ringer and Zombie shipper. Maybe it could be a thing again. I'm highly doubting it, because, I mean, Ringer and Razor, I mean, they did it. And, man, I had so much hope for Ringer and Zombie, and then Razor shows up and just destroys it. But then it's like, you're happy for the destruction. And, man, thinking about it now, we don't get to read from Zombie in this book, and he's not really there, and he kind of goes crazy in this book, in my personal opinion, because he was all injured and stuff, and I think he was just going over his head, and just, he needs help, and just, I want to give him a hug, because I love Zombie, and poor Zombie, he needs help, man. I feel so bad. And then this whole Evan situation, everyone thinks Evan is dead, and you know, I don't think he is, because, like, I remember I was, like, flipping through the book one day right when I started it, and I, like, saw Evan's name, and he was saying something, and I was just like, oh, well, Evan isn't dead, and I didn't think he was gonna be dead either, so I was just like, okay. But this whole Evan situation, like, literally, Cassie, whenever she talked about Evan, she was, like, hating on the dude, and I was just like, but you were in love with him the last book, and now you're just like, oh, I hate him, he left us, and now he's dead, so whatever. And I was just like, what? And then he comes back, and then, okay, she does hate on him when he comes back. And this whole coming back situation, okay, what was that? Like, Evan literally, like, goes and, like, almost kills Ben, and I was just like, why? And that was weird. But maybe, I don't know why that happened, but it did. And then Evan's all injured and stuff, and that was really sad. And, oh, speaking of Evan, we get to read through Evan in this book, and it's the third section. And you know, I said in my 5th wave book talk, I loved the third POV section through A Silencer's Eyes on the 5th wave, and then we got that in here, but I did not really like that section, because, one, since I knew it was Evan, I was kind of just like, okay, I'm reading through Evan, but in the 5th wave, we didn't know who the Silencer was, so I was just like, ooh, we're reading from a Silencer who wants to kill Cassie. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. And that section really dragged on, while the one in the 5th wave was really short. And in this section, we meet this character named Grace. And Grace, God bless, that girl is dead. I don't like her. Like, one, she's trying to make a move on Evan, and I was just like, hey now, what you doing? And she's crazy. Like, she loves the fact that humans are gonna die, and I'm just like, but why? And just, she's crazy, and man, it's, even though I'm glad she's dead, it's so sad of how she dies because of Pound Cake. And Pound Cake, I forgot about him, and I'm really glad we learned his background story. We get 2 sections from him, and those were really interesting sections. The first one was about his childhood and how his mom was dying. He had this little brother and his brother's always complaining about having mac and cheese. One day he goes out and tries looking for food, and he finds like a cake wrapper thing, and then he comes back, brother's gone, mom is yelling at him and calling him fat, and it's like, oh, I can hear that cake wrapper, oh my gosh, why don't you give that to your brother? And just so sad. And then, you know, we go to the next section, we see at the end them leaving, and Pound Cake's already been shot, so we all think he's dead, and we leave him, and then it explodes, and then we go to him, we see that he got shot, they left him on the ground, and then he went back to the building and got the bag, and he opened it, and then he breathed, and he's the reason why the building exploded. And it was so sad, because, like, he didn't deserve it, but I will say I'm grateful for his sacrifice, but I'm so sad that that is how it had to go down. And just, man, that was sad. I was just like, come on. But, and then obviously, Evan was in the building, and so we're all like, oh, Evan dies again, but he's not. Because in that last little section that's like 2 pages long, Evan shows up, and that was really weird. Like, Cassie was like, my nose is broken. He's like, my ankle's broken, and then kind of just ends. I was just like, oh, but I loved the scene, these action sequences. I remember I said in the beginning that I loved the action sequences in this book, and I did. They were so good. I loved the scene escaping the building and that whole fight and stuff with Grace. That was so crazy. And then the building explodes, and you're just like, oh my god, and it ends just like that. And then I love the action sequence with Ringer, and Claire, like that scene in the shower and stuff. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And then the last scene with them on the helicopter and Foch, and oh my gosh, and also the other one where they're with Lieutenant Bob and all that stuff, and like, oh, and oh, Teacup, Teacup was alive, that was nice. And Teacup's kind of mean. I kind of wish she is dead, but at the same time, it's kind of just like, don't wish that. Like, she may be important in the next book, but who knows? She's like a 5-year-old. But all the action sequences were so good. They were so good. And just, I overall really enjoyed this book. I was preparing myself to hate it, but I just can't hate this book. Like, I liked it. I liked it better than The Fifth Way. Like, that's just me, and I think that's all I have to say. Do I have any theories for the final book, The Last Star, which is coming out next year in May? I hope everyone survives. I hope Ringer is okay, because literally her section ends with her falling from that stupid helicopter, and I was just like, so, wait, is she still falling? So when we see her again, is she still gonna be falling, or is she gonna be dead? Oh, her alien powers are so cool, and how when she was falling the first time from the helicopter and she was gonna fall into that lake, like, oh my gosh, that scene was so crazy. But I hope she's okay. Where did Razor go? Is he still on the, I think he was still on the helicopter, and I hope everyone's okay and everyone's gonna survive, and hopefully, it sounds like they're gonna meet up again, because Ringer was like, we have to go back to Ohio, and because my friends are there, so maybe they'll like meet each other, but I don't know. I don't know what's gonna go down in The Last Star. I hope it's really not long. I bet it is, but I wanted to be this long because it was so quick and easy for me to read this book since it was only like exactly 300 pages. But yeah, those are my overall thoughts on The Infinite Sea. Overall, really liked it, really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait for The Last Star to come out next year. So yeah, if you like this book talk, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to watch more book reviews, you can click the subscribe button down below. And I'm Courtney, and I will see you all next time with a new video up soon. So I will see you then. So bye!